was, God, just give me one day. Just one day for me to see my baby, and then you can take me.
Hello my viewers, welcome to yet another episode of Tinah's Couch. So leo tumeamua tuhame to Tinah's porch. Ni porch ama ni porch? To Tinah's porch. Sasa, today's topic is going to be about learning how to forgive yourself. Many people say that it is very important for you to forgive others, but they've never understood the sense of forgiving yourself, because that is what matters most. You forgive yourself first, then forgive others. That is how it should work. So today we are hosting a very lovely lady, Leila.
Hi, Leila Diane here.
And she's going to tell us her story of hope, her story of picking up herself, learned to forgive herself, and then forgive the rest of the world. So Leila, tell us about you.
Wow. I am an entirely big book, but
let's cut it short.
The pages, I will cut the pages short, but okay. The page that probably I would say is that Leila Diane Wema Opolo is, she's a woman like any other woman. She's a woman with scars. She's a woman with strength, with weaknesses, and that's just me. I am a human being.
It's beautiful to be a woman, and you're a very beautiful woman. So Leila, tell us, make us understand at what point in life was your lowest, and how you picked yourself up, dusted yourself off, and said, this is who I am, and this is who I'm going to be, and my tomorrow is going to be determined by the decisions that I make today.
Thank you.
You're welcome, dear.
In the simplest form of me presenting your question would be, I found myself, first of all, I used to think that my downfall would come in two different ways. The day I lose my parents and the day I die. But I never really knew how both things can play out in a different way.
Okay.
So it started when, in 2018, I lost my dad.
That's really sad.
I lost my dad during my birthday.
Oh my God! Now that's the worst thing ever. I can imagine. It's the worst. It's the worst.
I actually forced him to. We traveled to my rural home in Nyanza, and I wanted a different kind of birthday setup, and we traveled with him. But what I didn't notice is that he carried most of his stuff, ID and NHIF, those things, and we went to Shags. So after we did my birthday, I was coming back because I had a film that I was supposed to shoot, Rafiki. So during that time, we had the birthday, nini, everything was amazing. I traveled back, and then my mom called and she was like, oh, your dad is not feeling well, but ni sawa tu.
So ilikuwa birthday tu yako na your dad peke yake?
Yeah, no, it was my birthday.
But you're celebrating it with your dad only?
With my dad and my mom, and my grandma and my younger brother.
So it's a family?
Yeah, it's a family setup. The worst thing happened the next day, and you know, she said, dad amepelekwa hosi. You know, those moments where you're not certain if nini nafanyika, you know, because you left this man, he was digging in Ushago, and then now you hear ati amepelekwa hosi. Kidogo kidogo, ikielekea saa 6 usiku, you know, we couldn't sleep, we were anxious, nini, and then we were told he's gone. So
just like that.
Just like that.
And I didn't understand when you said you forced your dad mkenda up country
Yeah.
to the village, and he had carried his NHIF and IDs
Yeah.
ushago.
I
What
also-
happened with that?
I also never understood that fact, you know. I think it comes with age and it comes with older people. It's like those moments when you hear someone older saying, it's time for me to go. So initially, he had called us for a meeting at home, like 5 months before that, and told us, oh, I need you guys to understand where my lands are, where my kettles are, nini, akatufundisha signatures zake, and we took it normal. We were like, oh, dad is being dad. But on that day is when I understood he was actually preparing us for his death. And he didn't prepare me well because me and him were too close. And that, it hit me really bad.
And do you normally feel like his death was caused by your forcefulness
Yeah.
of going to the village?
Yeah, I've had that moment. I've gone through therapy. And it wasn't the best thing ever. But, you know, from there, I never knew forgiveness. I never forgave myself for that, by the way.
Okay,
I
up to date.
No, I have right now, but
Okay.
by that time, I never forgave myself. I was like, oh, this is my fault. Like, if he was here, nothing would have happened. But it took time. So during that journey, 6 months from when he passed on, you know, dating continues with your bae, and you feel like your bae is everything, and probably you're having daddy issues and nobody knows. And he becomes everything that I want in life.
This period that you're going through with the losses, you were dating at that time?
No, we weren't dating at that time. I wasn't dating anyone at that time when I lost my dad. So I came to meet him after my dad.
Okay.
And he understood, you know. He was a shoulder that I leaned on. He was my pillow for tears. And he was that schmoopy that you want to have every time you think of pain. And I think that's what made me fall more in love with him. So the story about the guy, he was wooing me 2 years before the whole tragedy, but I just didn't have time for him.
Okay.
And then after dad, and now he was all over, and he was like, I'm sorry and everything.
He was very supportive.
He was so supportive at that time, and he understood. He was like the most understanding person ever at that time. I think that's the time I said yes. For the longest period of time. I think I'm the first woman to be wooed for the longest period of time, which is 2 years of saying no to a man. And then the third year is when I said yes.
After the losses.
After the loss of
Now,
my dad.
did you feel like you getting into a relationship during the pain ungekuwa burden your partner with being your dad at the same time acting as your boyfriend?
I think right now I would agree with you, but at that time it never crossed my mind like that because everything was perfect. You know, like that situation or relationship which you just wake up to every day and you're like, this is heaven sent. This is where I'm supposed to be. And that's what happened. Both of us were okay. Both of us were planning on future things. We were busy opening a company.
Oh my God.
Which we have opened, by the way. But we were busy opening companies. And yeah, you know, he wasn't really figured out at that time in the industry. And we just started small. And it's a company that we'll talk about when we are finishing. But
no problem. Okay,
it
we'll
was
get there.
amazing. But you know, during this time, so many, I nowadays understand that I had so many things going on in my mind, in my heart, and in my surrounding. And I had never known loss
until
I lost my dad. So when he came in, he just graced everything. And you know, it's like a flower. He bloomed everything up, and it was so beautiful. And you know, one thing leads to the other, and a baby comes along.
Wow. That's a beautiful thing.
Yes, it was the most confusing moment.
What do you mean? Having kids is the most beautiful thing a woman could ever ask. Actually, it's a gift that women ask for.
I know, it is. But when a woman gets pregnant, she grows up despite the age. I was only 25 at that time, 25. And I grew up the moment I found out I was pregnant.
What do you mean by growing up? I mean, at the age of 25, most of our mothers had already given birth to like 3 children or more.
The thing is, by growing up, I mean accepting that there's a little human being growing up inside you, waking up every day thinking that you have a life to support. It needs you growing up.
Okay.
I'm telling you, that shit is not easy. It's not easy knowing that you're gonna be a mother. And it's not easy knowing that you're gonna be a mother and you're gonna be a single mother.
What do you mean? I mean, this guy was there throughout the pain, and then one thing led to the other, which is obvious. I mean, you guys knew what and what was Zima. So if you...
That's exactly what I said, yeah? The time he said he wasn't sure, and he said he's not ready to be a father, I asked him, do you think I'm the one who is ready to be a mother?
After wooing you for 2 years,
Yes.
he tells you he's not ready to be a father. Men are special.
I'm telling you, after God, fear men. Fear men after God. Because this generation of men, I think we will brew them their own special kafobe mahali.
What?
Because I also didn't understand. My sister was like you. I sat down and I was like, what do you mean you're not ready? I mean, if you're a man and you already know sex, it means you're ready for life.
Yeah.
If you're a man and you know you can sleep with a woman without protection, it
Then
means you're ready for life and
for
you're ready to be a
responsibility.
responsible man. But here comes a man who you thought had your back the entire time, tells you, I am choosing my career over you and that baby.
Oh my God. Now that's the worst thing to ever hear.
He decided to choose his career over me and the baby, and I was in that situation where everything seemed black. I felt like there was no hope. And yes, I had a career, but I wasn't raised and born in a family where I'm seeing a mother and a child alone. I was born in a family where I'm seeing there's a man and there's a woman, and you call them mom and dad, and there's a responsibility, you know? And there are rules, and that's who I was. So I didn't understand it. It hit me pretty bad. I tried taking my own life. I remember Akothe's sisters, Sebi Kokeyo, is the one who reached out to me. And she really talked to me. She really talked some senses into my head. Actually, thanks so much, Sebi. She talked to me so much. She gave me a life history of Akothe. She told me so many personal things that I sat down and I was like, hey, wake up, you're Leila. And everybody in my circle knows Leila is the most strongest person, so I'm not supposed to get weak. And somehow, that stood me up. And I went back home. And I decided to go ahead with the baby. And with my life, both of us being alive.
So you're trying to take away your life.
Because I knew if I die, the baby will die. Because I wasn't ready for my baby to be alone in this world. I wasn't ready to raise a child alone. I wasn't ready for my baby to go to school and get those questions. Where is your dad? You don't have a... I wasn't ready for my child to go through things that I didn't know how to fix. I had a rough time. away from that 1 month.
But it's a good thing you had a good support system from your mother,
I did.
your
My
your sisters, your brothers, and Sebi actually. You said,
yeah.
Sebi came through for you.
Sebi was amazing. Sebi and my friend, he's Cup of Uji. He does Cup of Uji program. He's called Francis Amonde Otieno. They were people who had my back like I never knew before. Even my then boyfriend's friend, he's called Joel Kiserian. That guy, he went with me even during my sessions to the doctor. I remember there's a day I had already spent all my money, sina hata fare ya kwenda Hosi clinic. He came and picked me na akanipeleka Hosi.
Wow.
And I asked him, Joel, aufikiri watu wataanza kusema we ndio baba mtoto na nini na nini? And he said, Leila, let me tell you, I'm not a child and I've not known you today. And the person you're having inside you is very innocent, away from what
other people,
us, we've done outside here and nini. That baby comes first. And we will do everything to make sure that baby comes first.
That's amazing.
And he was always there, you know. All these people were there for me until I couldn't take it anymore. You know, we are in the same industry with the dad, nini, same friends, same circle. People send you pictures of him going out with other people, and as a woman, you know, you will get jealous. You're there thinking of your big body and nini.
The insecurities come in with it. Yeah.
I took my things, I went to Ushagu. So my mom was like, it's okay. You have already finished school. You have brought us certificates. You've graduated. You're not a baby and you have your career. You can take care of this child. You can be you and just live your life if the man doesn't want to be there. And then that got when my mom didn't even know exactly what has happened between me and the guy. She didn't even want to know nini mbaya. She cared about
you
her baby.
And the baby.
Yeah, she cared about my baby is not okay right now. I don't care about a man who got her pregnant. And I think that is the most strongest grandmother or a woman that I've ever known in my life. She didn't care about huyo mtu ako wapi, you know? Twende kama familia kwao.
So mababa ndo ushinda akiulizia
jamaa
yuko wapi?
Ako wapi? Ako wapi? Twende tumuone anaitwa nani nini. My mom never asked. She only cared to know that I am okay. And I immediately started clinic. Oh, I remember.
That is how many months down? Yeah.
That is 1 month that I was having everything going down. 1 month. And I remember my big sister asked me, unataka kukufa? Unataka kukufa? Tukupe poison? Tukupe nini ndo ukufe basi kama unataka kukufa? And I was like, right now I can laugh, but at that time I was crying. I was like, wait, I'm the one who's I'm not okay. You're not supposed to tell me that. And then I actually sat and I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Mbona nataka kukufa? And you know, sometimes the people who you love got to give you tough love for you to grow up. And they gave me tough love and it opened a door for me. And the door was me accepting that I'm pregnant and this man is not here.
So there was no option for abortion and stuff?
We never even discussed that. And by the way, let me tell you, even this guy, there is no day he ever told me about abortion. To be honest, he never.
But mjamaa kikata balls amekwambia tu utoe?
No, Tinah, no. Like, if a man doesn't want a baby, they will tell you, shika do, endu toe ball, ama we endu toe yo mimba, mi staki, you know? This guy never said, staki yo mimba. This guy never said, uo mtoto si wangu. This guy he never said nothing.
Alisema tu, I choose my career over
He just said, my career is on the peak right now. I can't be a dad. That's what he said.
What did you take that to mean?
At that moment, I felt like he insulted me. I was like, how dare you tell me you're not ready? Who told you I'm ready? And that's when I asked him, who told you I'm ready to be a mother? And he said, it's like you wanted me, I didn't want to be a father yet.
Zile blame games zenye majamaa ucheza
and then he,
P2, you should have
you know what
yourself.
he said? Wacha kwanza nikunywa maji.
Kunywa tu.
Do you know what this guy said?
What did he say?
Tuki have sex wa kuniambia nisimwage ndani.
Aya.
I know, like I swear to God. That's why I said wacha nikunywe maji. When I went home, I texted the dad to the baby. And I told him, if you and I cannot work, at least let's be friends for the baby. As in, nilibeg that much. You understand?
Yeah.
I ended up begging, let's be friends. Just so you
At
can
least.
be in the life of the baby. He never replied. I still went on with my life. 2 days after that.
Now, since you had opened the company together, he was continuing with the company.
Yes.
Were you getting paid because it was your company?
No.
Okay, so how did you expect to survive with the pregnancy and everything and the clinics?
I don't know. Probably he didn't care at that time.
Okay.
I can't speak for him.
No, that's true.
But all I know is that he wasn't there, you know? And 2 days after all that saga, now I got even more sick than I was. And my family was shocked, and they didn't know what to do. We had just lost our dad. Are we planning to sit here and watch our sister also die?
No.
They were like the nearest hospital and the only public hospital. Even if everything happens wrong in these private hospitals, I would still be taken back to Pumwani. They took me to Pumwani. And when I reached Pumwani, Christ, they did an emergency CS. Before the emergency CS, do you know I labored for 2 days?
Be serious.
I was in Pumwani laboring for 2 freaking days.
Wow.
There is no pain I felt like the one I felt on that day. So when someone says, like, labor pain is like cramps, I do not understand it, because I didn't feel cramps. I was feeling like I'm dying. And they did so many tests, they did nini. Walikuja kuangalia mtoto that second day. They were like, no, this girl has to go for emergency CS because we are losing both of them. And I had that and I was like, what did you say?
It took you a full day for you to come and tell me this.
Yeah. And then they took me for that emergency CS. I was there. The only thing which was in my mind was, God, just give me 1 day. Just 1 day for me to see my baby, and then you can take me. I wasn't thinking about the baby. I was praying, God, nipatie tu siku moja, nione umtoi, alafu unaweza nichukua. You know, like I had reached that moment that I'm like, I'm okay, you can take me. I've already accepted the journey that I can die.
I'm already teary, you know.
But I mean, God is just a mysterious person. You never understand God. Because I'm there and they took me for the CS. They showed me the baby and I don't know what happened next. Because I just saw the baby and then everything went black. So when I woke up, I was having machines all over. And then the nurse comes with the baby and she's like, oh, we were waiting for you to wake up. You signed this. We take the baby to the NICU. And I asked, what do you mean you are waiting for me? amwezi mpeleka. And then she said, hapana, lazima mzazi asign. Mtoto ha breathe vizuri. I was like, please, just shut up. Take my baby where you are supposed to take the baby. They took the baby. At that time, I can't even walk. But let me tell you, for your child, a woman can do anything. Ndio nimetoka CS. If anybody knows how Pumwani looks like, it's a journey from where you're sleeping to where you're going to see the baby. I walked to go and see my baby. We searched for that baby in that place. Mpaka nikaanza kuambia mumeniibia mtoto. Mtoto wangu wako wapi, mlete. So they brought the baby. I mean, they took me to where the baby was. We checked. We are not seeing her. Kumbe hapa penye nimesimama hapa ndio penye mtoto yuko. Me, I'm like, hey, Pumwani, you've killed me. Nikabaki nikakaa hivi. Naangalia mtoto, nasema mtoto mbona ni mrembo hivi sana. Mtoto ni mrembo sana. And then I'm like, amjapata wangu bado. And then the nurse comes and checks the tag on the baby, and she's like, oh, you said that your name is Leila Diane Wema. Oh, this is Wema. This is Wema. I was like, waka on your face. I am looking for this baby like this, and then you're telling me who you are. That was the most beautiful baby that I've ever seen in my life. Uchungu ya kusema hata ufanani na babako, but actually the baby was looking more of the father than me. It's the brownness only that was my part. Ile ingine ilikuwa mchezo yake 100%. But away from knowing and seeing that this is my baby, you know, there is something that comes with you seeing your generation. Yeah. You're like, oh my God, this is my body, this is my blood. And I was like, this is so beautiful. But there was a way she was breathing that I wasn't comfortable with. She was put on oxygen, nini. Nikauliza huyu daktari, kwani what's going on? Akaniambia, oh, she's not breathing well. Unajua ulikawia sana labor. Na alikuwa ashaanza kutan anatoka, so akaanza kukunywa amniotic fluid, and then also it seems like you are not okay, so it really, the vitals weren't okay, ili affect mtoto nini. And that's when they told me about the depression, the stress, and I was like, oh my God, I didn't know I was depressed. So we went through all that for like 2 days. I kept on going to the NICU, seeing her, changing diapers.
Did you ever breastfeed?
Yes. Once, the last day. And it was so painful because my boobs were so tiny and they were so painful. And then just looking at her trying to like suck, I mean, oh my God. And then they realized that she can't suck very well because she's
having
like
a hard time breathing.
Yeah. So they put the small pipe through her nose for her to eat with. So they get milk off me and then they put in that thing. Hey, I didn't know that was the worst mistake, because that night she choked on the milk. And I wasn't there, you know. I was back in the room and I came. I felt very weird the whole of that day. In the morning, my mom kept on calling me and she kept on asking me, how is Mani? So my baby's name was Ashel Mani.
Wow.
Not Pesa. M-A-N-I-E. Mani. So she kept on telling me, I'm trying to sleep. I'm just seeing the picture you sent me of the baby in my eyes. What's going on? I didn't answer. Like, I just wasn't okay. I didn't feel like talking to people. I didn't nini. And you know, that was the day the dad was winning the award, Extreme Awards.
Be serious.
God is a funny person. I told you, after God, fear men.
So he never even got back to you?
He sent me his ID to put on the birth certificate.
For what?
Because he knew he was the father. No matter how shitty he acted, he knew he was the father. The problem is that he sent the ID too late.
She was already gone.
She was already gone. I reached there. You know, I used to find this thing, imetoka namregeshea, but on that day, I couldn't. I saw it from here. I saw that thing is off, and I was like, I called the doctors. And the doctors already knew she was dead. But they told me they can't remove a baby from the station before the mother comes. So I was there, I was like, what's happening? Kuja, kimbia, mtoto wangu, naona akiwa brown sana, na ha move. They came, naona wana try kufanya nini. My milk comes from the nose, from the mouth. I'm standing there, alone.
During that time,
I've never witnessed death.
It's really sad that you did. What I was asking is, at that time, Pumwani was not allowing in visitors?
You know, Pumwani don't allow visitors.
I didn't know that.
They don't.
Oh.
And it was at night. It was
so you give birth by yourself and walk out by yourself?
No, they can allow. Sasa ni ile, but unaona hii sasa ni side ya CS. Na ni baba peke yake is allowed to get inside the NICU. Not friends, not sisters, not whatever. But I say God was with me, because as much as Pumwani walinieka nikaliba for 2 days, they helped me not die.
Yeah.
So I also congratulate them for that. As much as they didn't do a first aid on my baby, they still helped me.
Do you blame them for the loss of your baby?
I used to. To be honest, I used to. I used to go to Pumwani and stand outside there to wait for someone to walk out with my baby. That's how bad I was. And that day, when the doctor now looked at the nurse and did this, nilifeel kitu imeshuka hapa ikaenda hadi kwa tumbo. Nilifeel, unaona ile labor pain, ilirudi
tena.
I felt quick labor pain, like I was in labor again. There's nothing they could have done. Walinidunga sindano ya kulala. They called my sisters. My sisters had to come at that time. I'm telling you, my big sister Ida, there's no woman like that woman. That girl, like yani, ni yeye anakwanga ame to hold with all. I don't know how strong she is, but she came at that time. And I don't even know, like, you know those moments you don't even know how to repay someone?
Yeah.
I wonder how I'm ever gonna repay her. Because I don't know how to. She's too good. Because it wasn't her baggage, it wasn't anything that she needed to do. But then she came, and she came at that time at night with my sister Maureen. They came. And I told the doctors, I can't see my baby like that. I won't be able to take it. My sisters came, they're the ones who did everything. They saw her body. I never saw her body. I couldn't see her like that, like she's not moving. I just can't see her not moving. I was so confused. They told me to write on a piece of paper, I have seen the body of my dead baby. That she was difficult for me. And she did all that for me. She did all that. She's the one who arranged everything. She signed everything. I never did anything. I couldn't sleep. I kept on hearing babies crying. My mom traveled in the morning. She came and she told me, usilie kama mtu mwenye hajui Mungu. Usilie kama mtu mwenye hajui Mungu. It is okay, cry. but don't cry too much. You have a wound. You can die. Just pick up yourself. I will not say I understand the pain you have, because I've not gone through that pain. I've gone through a different pain. And this is a new pain to our family. And that's the day I understood that no matter what, it's always my family
That will be there.
that will be there. Even when my baby died, the dad was never there.
He was busy winning the awards.
Yeah, he won the award. And I buried a child. That's how God is amazing.
That's really sad.
And that was that. And I took it like that. I had a difficult time coping. Nini, you know, my breasts were now big, maziwa inatoka every time. Nalala nikiamka uso yangu yote ni maziwa. Huku kote ni maziwa. Nalia kwa bafu nikisema yani Mungu maziwa yote na hakuna mtu mwenye anaweza nyonya. My mom squeezed milk every single day. Every single day for a whole month. Until I went back to being like this.
It's really sad when mothers lose kids. They have a lot of milk to give out, and
there is
no place where you can even take that milk to help another child.
Actually,
at least
there is.
There is.
Yeah, in Pumwani.
Oh.
They help you pump off the maziwa, and then they store it for those kids whose parents have left or parents don't make it.
Well,
there is. Nowadays there is. I don't know if Kitambo there was, but nowadays there is that section. Yeah. But, you know, after all this, I went through a lot. I almost fell into real depression because I used to go to Pumwani and stand outside there to wait for someone to walk out with my baby. You know?
Yeah, I can imagine.
But there's this song which woke me up. A song by Moses Bliss. He's Nigerian. It says, "You're too faithful to fail me."
Yeah.
It says, "You never leave me halfway. You always pick me up." And that song, it manifested so many things to me. You know, they say, when God needs to talk to you, you will hear. I had God at that time. And I had His purpose for me at that time. Because it told me, you know, the whole entire song told me, I would have died. I'm not special. I would have died. But God has a special purpose for me. I am not special. It's the purpose of God that is special in me. And that's why I'm alive.
Amen.
After forgiving myself, 5 months down the lane,
What happened?
I forgave the dad.
So that's when did he
He
get
didn't
after
come.
after the kid died? You told him, I believe.
Yeah, I told him that the baby is dead. And he
What
wrote
was
me a
his
text.
reaction?
He wrote me a text saying, "I'm so sorry I wasn't the best. I know I can never be the best man. I'm sorry for letting you and the baby down. I hope you can now move on."
Seriously?
I swear that was the text. I was like, what do you mean I can move on?
So basically, he thought that what was keeping you together with
Was the
him
baby.
was the baby.
Shock on his life. Nililia tu, nika rant na hiyo maneno kama mwanamke.
Kawaida.
But nikakuja nikamforgive. I forgave him.
At what point did you feel you needed to forgive this man?
When I realized I didn't want to see any other man in my life.
Apart from him?
No, not even. I didn't want to see men, male species. I didn't want to see them. And then I realized I'm developing a very bad attitude just because of one man. And a friend of mine told me, "Leila, for you to move on, you need to let go of other things." And letting go, for me, actually meant forgiving him, letting him go free. Niache kumbeba, aache kukua kitu yenye nimebeba kwa maisha yangu, so that I can move on. I forgave him. I told him it's okay. You weren't ready. It is fine. We lost a child. It is well. I forgive you for not being there. I forgive you for making me cry each day. I forgive you for making me think that I was the worst person. I forgive you for all the things you did. For all those times you were never there when I needed you to be there, I forgive you. And he said, thank you. And he told me, do you know, I've never known what I would say to you when we meet. I don't want to hurt you again. I respect you so much. And it hurts me each and every day that I lost a baby. It's just that probably I might not be able to show you, but I'm sorry. And I took that. I don't need him to say sorry to the entire world. The sorry he said was enough, and it is enough. And that was the journey. By the way, the company does music production, filming, adverts, everything, plus photography. And to reach us, you can always find us at Astrojuice. You can always just Google Astrojuice, you'll find us, or you can Google The Gigs Films, you will find us, and we'll do an amazing, amazing job for you. So whenever you need all these things, you can always come to us. And I'm a proud 27 years old girl who says that she has a company. It is not easy.
It's not easy. It's not easy for anyone.
And especially in this industry, it is not easy to have a company for filming at this time. It's not easy. So I appreciate every moment and every scar that has brought me this far. And that's why I'm so proud of my journey. I'm like, if any other girl is out there and goes through this, I would tell them, wake up, honey. Wake up and pick yourself. Wake up and know that you can do this. Wake up and know that you're everything that the world needs. Because when I didn't have that mindset, I almost died. But when I have this mindset now, there are things which come, I cry, and then I wake up. And that's it.
Heard it from Leila. Sometimes in life, you don't need to let things weigh you down, especially people, but still, letting yourself free, letting those people go free is what always gives you the strength to get up from where you have fallen. And most of it all, always thank God for the life that He has given to you. If it was not the strength that Leila got from God, she wouldn't be here right now. There are people who don't move on from losses and the things that are being done to by other people. And it's really sad about that. We should let go of all that anger that we all have. Anyways, thank you guys and welcome again to The Couch with Tinah. Although today it's at the porch. Please follow, share and leave a comment. Let's engage. Maybe next time it could be your story we are talking about. Feel free to contact us through Tinah's Couch. You can DM, you can email us. Whichever way, whichever method you feel like is okay for you, please feel free to do so. Thank you very much and see you again